Assalamu alaikum. Peace to the gods, peace to the earths.
Peace to the gods.
And all of the righteous families of the planet. It's your big brother Fahiym back again.
Blackgod Ra.
With the God, Blackgod Ra. You know, we was just sitting there, you know, having our little general bills real quick, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, just talking about, you know, like, I know you saw the little bill, you know, just dealing with the Caucasian 5%ers, you know, my little bill. And we was just sitting here just talking about, you know, just some of the things that's been going on as far as like, you know, people just saying stuff, but can't show and prove what they saying. You know, and like how with the brother, you know, our white 5%er brother, you know what I'm saying, or family member, you know, as far as like with the skunk part, you know, he said, yeah, the father took it out. But then when I just left a message and said, hey, you know, show and prove, you know, he told me about what his enlightenment told him. Yeah. So my thing is, when does it come to a point when we just, if you can't show and prove it, then just stop saying it.
The God, I mean, not to cut your wisdom, but the thing about this nation, and it's sad, if I say I don't give it another 10 years, and I don't care how people take it, you ain't gonna do nothing to me. But my thing is this, God, I don't give it another 10 years because we don't show and prove. And when I say show and prove, I mean provide evidence. You understand? My enlightenment taught me a lot of things that was off the Richter scale that I was like, whoa. And I had to go do my own research. Right. So, like I said, if I go up to a Christian and I tell the Christian that, hey man, we don't believe in what you, for one, let me clarify something. As gods, we don't believe in belief. You understand? Either you know it or you don't know it. If you don't know it, you can go do the knowledge. That's why we do the knowledge. Now, once you say the word belief, I stop you. Wait, whoa, don't tell me what you believe, tell me what you know. So now you telling me what your enlighteners believed, or because if you can't show and prove, you can't give me some chronology on it, when the father took a certain degree out, a certain word out the degrees, it don't exist. The time frame don't exist. Anybody can tell you anything, but if you can't provide me some evidence, meaning show and prove, and like I said, the nation is not going to be around for long because it's a lot of hocus pocus in it now. It's a lot of, it's no evolving. Like I said, it's a lot of, the father said this. My enlightenment said this. This is a plus degree, but none of it's adding up. Right. You understand? Right. If you can't show and prove that the father took, and I've been saying this for many and many bills.
I've been saying it for about 20 years now. I've been asking this question.
Exactly. If you can't show and prove that the father took it out, how I'm going to teach the babies? Right. Well, no, that ain't in the lesson. Because when the babies go back, see, this is what people fail to understand. And this is what push people away from the culture. Right. Because you'll tell them, these are our lessons. They got our lessons. Right. And then when they go do the chronology, because people do research. Yeah. People go to the internet and get these lessons now.
We're living in the age of research.
They do research, it's age of information. Right. So when they do the research, they do the chronology, and they see that Christianity, quote unquote, or the 120 is derived from here, they're going to start doing more research of the root. Right. But you weren't honest enough to say, hey man, this is where the lessons came from. The father taught him this way. He taught him a certain way. But the lessons derived from here. Right. If you're not honest, when they start doing chronology, it's just like when we came from being asleep Christianity. Right. It's going to be like, hey man, this Jesus concept was plagiarized. It was plagiarized from this concept. Right. And that was plagiarized from this concept. They're going to go back to the root.
Yeah, that's like me. You know, when I first got knowledge of self with the nation of gods and earths, you know what I'm saying? You know, when I was, you know, I wasn't really told that it came from Elijah Muhammad, it came from the Nation of Islam. I was just told that they were 10%ers and be careful with them and this and that. Yeah. But when I start doing the research and I go back to the root, I'm like, wait a minute. And then I start digging deeper and I'm like, man, you know, studying who Elijah Muhammad was and what he did. I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't even know that those was his answers, or questions and answers was Elijah Muhammad. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of stuff. And that's why I tell brothers that's 5%ers primarily in the nation of gods and earths that there is so much you don't know.
God, you just said that somebody told you that the Nation of Islam was 10%ers.
Right.
That's a contradictory. because if you read the degrees, it says 10% teaches a mystery spoke.
Right.
Now, as I recall,
I'm glad you brought that
from
up.
being around the nation, they teach that the black man is God. How you think that Father Allah knew that the black man was God?
Okay.
So they teach the black anybody a 5%er teaches that the black man is God.
Right.
Not an 85er, not a 10%er.
Right. Well, the white 5%er, our white 5%er brother or whatever, he says because in the Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad said Allah came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad.
Right.
We teach about a mystery God.
Let's go again. Now, if for one, that's the most honorable Elijah Muhammad's concept. For one. For two, if he teach that he came in the person of Allah, didn't I come in the person? Did I come in the name of Allah? Don't you come in the name of Allah? We all come in the name. That's the difference is everybody got their own conceptions on who Allah is and don't understand that Allah is one and Allah is all in all.
Right.
And you take that all in all out because now you keep throwing that mystery in there. If you read, tell our white 5%er, brother, go read Message to the Black Man again.
Right.
Read who is that mystery God. Then read the second chapter, who is that mystery God.
Right.
Then go back to your degrees.
Right.
And study who is that mystery God.
Right.
Because y'all getting these lessons and y'all trying to transfer these lessons to something that it's not.
Right.
Y'all trying to make it like it is what it is, man.
Right. I told him basically even to make it even easier and more simplified than that, I just told him, are you what you teaching, what you say you got from the Father, is that right and exact? He said, yeah. Well, if you teaching something that is right and exact and the Father got it from Elijah Muhammad, and Elijah Muhammad said he got it from Allah, like, your mathematics, it has to be able to add up. Yeah. Because then what you're teaching, we can exclude that. Yeah. If the root of it is false, then what you teaching today got to be false as well. Yeah.
You can take it, you can be Bruce Lee all you want to, but you still got to go back to IP man.
You got it right. Yeah.
You understand? you could evolve and say, well, I added on, I did this, I added on, but you got to be honest about what you add on.
Yeah.
And you take away. You can be like, well, in the degrees it says skunk of the planet Earth, but I took that out. I don't know if the Father took it out. Then you honest. You're being honest with not only me, with yourself.
I can live with that.
Yeah, like I took it out. Yeah. And that's cool. That's how you see it. Yeah. That's how you want to see it. That's how you live it. That's how you're improving it.
That's just like how some 5%ers, instead of saying, like his own self is a righteous Muslim, they took the Muslim out and they say his own self is a righteous God.
I do.
Cool. But as long as they acknowledge the original
degree
was Muslim,
because
then we cool.
You know what I'm saying? Mine like this came to me. They showed me how to do reverse polarities. Okay. Now the lesson said his own self is a righteous Muslim. Point blank period. That's what the degree says. Right, we can't say, did the Father, hold up. If the Father took out skunk of the planet Earth, why wouldn't he take out Muslim? Why would he say,
ask this question.
It doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't the Father say, hey, this 120, we're taking out Muslim. Don't say Muslim.
I always say
forget. We already said don't use the Muslim names.
Right.
Why don't we just take the whole Muslim out the degrees? But I said that to say this. It's nothing wrong with, because I say God. I don't claim to be a Muslim. I'm a God. Point blank period, I'm God. So, but at the end of the day, I understand the degree. And I said, we use reverse polarities. But at the end of the day, the lesson said his own self is a righteous Muslim.
Right.
So I say his own self is a righteous God.
Right.
And that's what the degree say.
Yeah.
When did the Father change it?
Yeah.
Did he change the degree too? He didn't change anything in 1 through 36? The English lesson, because I need to know, because I might be off.
As far as I know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But with some of our white 5%ers, like we know that the Father, it was said that he enlightened a Caucasian, person when he was, I think, away or whatever. And Azrael.
Azrael.
Yeah. And, I seen guards, kind of debating over that and getting into, like, well, what has Azrael done? What did the father, did the father pander to the white man? In a lot of instances, he gave the mayor and what you call it, flags, and they didn't know their lessons. They couldn't quote it. They didn't even, like, how do you feel on that?
I feel this, God. Because a lot of people saying, oh, the father, we got white 5%ers. Ain't nothing wrong with that if you're going to claim to be a 5%er, as long as you're teaching that the black man is God, doing your duty. Right. But don't sit here acting like it was necessary. And when you go back to the root of the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Farrakhan and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad wasn't out there handing out Nation of Islam flags to white people and said, "Oh, you are now you a 5%."
No.
Or Mayor, you a 5%er because they never did.
Or you a FOI. Or
Because you came around. Now, like I said, even the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he had meetings with the Klan.
Right.
But he wasn't handing out flags.
He wasn't making them members, honorary
exactly.
members. Yeah.
So
the father made the mayor and them honorary members.
Exactly. And that's like me giving you an honorary doctorate.
Right.
So my thing is this. If they never in the Nation of Islam handed out their flags and it made you honorary members, and they was more successful than the Nation of Gods and Earth or the 5% Nation of Islam or whatever, then, and still to this day, they're not handing out honorary FOI pins and FOI flags, and they're still more successful. Don't sit here and say, oh, the father handed out this universal flag to the mayor and he did this to Azrael, he taught like it was necessary for the nation to thrive. No, it wasn't necessary.
Because the nation really didn't thrive after
that.
Father,
It didn't thrive at all.
So in other words, it's like what you're saying is what was the purpose or what was the
reason
what was the
purpose? But we know, all right, he did this to get the bus rides, the plane trips and everything. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. But at the end of the day,
for political reasons.
Political reasons, but at the end of the day, don't see the philosophy was genuine, but the objective was kind of because at the end of the day, you forgot the discipline. Like I keep saying, the discipline part, because if you would have learned the discipline side of the Nation of Islam, say, hey man, this is how Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad start building and adding on to his I always teach financial literacy. Yeah. This is how he started adding on. How about I bring this financial literacy to my nation?
Right.
And build for that. We got the school now.
Right.
We're going to build off of this. We got the school. Let's spread. Let's get more schools. Let's get more planes. Let's get some buses. Let's get this on our own. Let's do our own thing.
Right. Pool our resources.
All right. Even if you gave the mayor honorary pen.
Right.
Let's start adding on now. Let's move. Let's run. Yeah. Let's take off with it.
Yeah.
But you can't take off with it with no discipline. Yeah. If you still rolling dice, losing the money.
Yeah. I mean, you got black, brothers in the nation who lack that discipline.
Of course.
And those restrictive laws and those, you know what I'm saying?
Then
you're bringing in white members
now,
and they don't, and you're not even holding them to a standard of discipline. What you expect is going to happen in 10
Exactly. Because the thing is, and why you can speak on it, I can speak on it because I was one of them brothers who had lessons and had no discipline, and I had to get discipline.
Me too.
But I never left without my discipline.
Yeah,
because my enlightenment forced the discipline.
True indeed.
We had to have 3 books open on the table. We couldn't go to YouTube and the internet to get some lessons.
Google search.
We had to struggle for degrees. Remember, I said struggle for degrees. Now, and at the end of the day, I was fortunate to be taught my culture, my black culture, by people of me.
Right.
I didn't have to go outside of me to get taught my culture because I feel it would have been unauthentic.
Right.
Right. It's like a Chinese person in the back cooking some damn ham hocks and calling it soul food. I would be like, hold up, this ain't soul food. Yeah. That's like me having a Chinese restaurant calling it Happy Buddha. Chinese people ain't coming over there looking at me authentic. Mexicans in down here, real Mexicans, they don't want to eat Taco Bell. Right. They say that's not even Mexican food.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm glad I got it authentically.
Right.
Because if I wanted to get a subculture, I go to a public school.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. Now, like I said, there's nothing wrong with teaching the truth, But at the end of the day, it's a different from learning from another God.
Right.
You understand? And that's why I was blessed.
Versus a white,
Yeah, and then like I say, nothing wrong with him teaching.
But and also since you mentioned that, like I also wanted to mention about the 35 to 50 years because I was on, building with someone and at the end of the day, from what I was taught, any form of enlightenment that a Caucasian person decides to, immerse themselves in and study, they have to, it's not just a little 5, 10 year, 15, 20 year, no, from 35 to 50 years, not just if they're a Mason, a Freemason, that's anybody who, mysteries, Egyptian mystery school system, anything. A Caucasian person has to go longer, way longer.
It's one thing you're not understanding, It's one thing you're not understanding. When I was growing up, we from the projects. When I was growing up, and I'm going to elaborate on it a little bit. We talking about this 21 Savage thing, who had on our universal flag.
Right.
When I was growing up, now he's from London. Okay. We just found that out. But he claimed the 6 in Atlanta.
Right.
Your dad's a doctor. So you a Huxtable kid. You didn't have to, truthfully, you didn't have to live in these projects and be on welfare and your mama tell you we eating noodles tonight. Ain't drinking Kool-Aid. We ain't eating, we just all we got. Welfare check ain't come in. So being said that, when you had somebody who wasn't from the projects, who stayed in houses and they came in trying to be like they from the projects, they rapping, they still in the culture, they doing all this.
Right. We
called them perpetrators when I was coming up.
Yeah, me too.
But I said that to say this. And I said that's why it's going, the next going, not because different coaches are coming in, different people are coming in and teaching it. It's because it's taking the authenticity out of it. One thing about the Honorable Farrakhan that I got to commend him, he kept it authentic.
Yeah.
He added on to it.
Right.
Everybody say, oh, L. Ron Hubbard and he teaching Scientology. No, he not. Yeah. He's taking, it's just like me when I read different books. He's taking the best part. Right. Read your lessons, study your lessons. We're taking the best part. You don't just take the best, you got to take the best part of the planet Earth. We're on the poor part, but y'all want to stay poor. That's why y'all still teaching the same ass lessons. Y'all still trying to memorize third grade lessons. Not a degree in the 1 through 36.
Yeah.
I'm WF for Muhammad and all. That's third grade lessons. We're in the age of information now, God. I could go look up photosynthesis and everything on my telephone and learn. I can look up YouTube and learn and damn to earn a degree now off of YouTube and be a scholar in a certain field.
If it's one thing, that mentality that I'm trying to break up is that mentality right there. That he don't know how to quote, so he's not a real 5%er. And even Sean Love, even the white 5%er, you know what I'm saying? He has that type of mentality too. And it's like I told when I was building with what's his name, Saladin, and like I was mentioning with him, it's like I could understand a dumbass nigga like me. Like how you said, I was the type of dude, I had the lessons, but I was in the street, I had no discipline. So I could understand an ignorant ass nigga like me who ain't never been to college, never been to school. Now I get knowledge yourself, and I'm like, okay, let's have a quoting contest. Let's see who can quote the best. Oh, you can't quote, you're not. You would think because I went through school and that type of academia, whether like Saladin or even the the white father, Sean Love. I mean, he speaks well. I could tell that Dave. To me, it's surprising that they would be saying stuff like that. Like, oh, if you don't know these lessons, you're not real. Like, why do y'all keep saying that? Someone who's never been to school before, I could see them saying that, but I don't understand that.
Well, my thing is this, God. That's not evolving.
It's not.
That's revolving.
That's what I'm saying. It's not. But you would think a person that's went through school and stuff like that would know. That's not real scholarship. No. Just because you can quote something.
Yeah.
I have my college professor do this, and I had to write this, and I had to go in on a PowerPoint, and I had to make a presentation in the class. And you would think that you would see somebody like me saying that who ain't never been to college, never been to school. So that just bugs me out every time I hear people say, Oh, you're not real. You're not. Oh, because you don't know your lesson by heart.
That's crazy. But
I don't get it.
That's crazy, dog. Like I said, I done wrote many papers for my certifications and everything else.
I battle rap, God. I have a hard enough time remembering my balls.
Don't remember that. I don't remember all the stuff. God, if I show you how thick these books is, I got to read them books right there just to memorize nutrition plans and different nutritions and everything else. I'm not trying to remember everything.
Right.
That's why I use that as a format to go back to and say, oh, let me look that up for you.
Right.
Because I evolve. It's different things I do every day.
Right.
For one, if it ain't a time, if you've been studying 120 or a wisdom book, and you've been in the nation for 20 years plus, even 10, let's say 10 years plus, and you hadn't put them lessons down at least once, at least for 6 months to a year, and started on something else,
right?
You need to build you a college. They call it 120 because
you're really not doing nothing.
You're not,
because you never put you have to study other things. You have to learn other things. You have a job, an occupation. Me and my wife, we have 2 businesses we're trying to run. About to get the second one really off the ground right now. Get our LLC and everything.
And that's crazy.
Trucking companies, cleaning services. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I have to remember. But at the same time, I still come and build on these lessons. Do I pick up my 120 lessons and try to no? I don't have time to do that. Why? Really, the lessons are already in me. It's been over 25 years.
But the thing is, it's just like me. I got a business.
Right.
So it's like me. I got to concentrate on my clients. But the thing is, I'm not teaching my clients a whole 120 every time I go see my clients. You understand? So it's different regimens I got to work out for them. Different things that I got to remember to tell them. I got to analyze them, their body compositions, everything else. So I'm not sitting here saying, the thing is, if you want to remember, you want to be a scholar quoter, cool. That's you.
Right.
But you can't bash or you can't get upset at the ones who don't say, oh, he's not a real 5%er. Because at the end of the day, a 5%er, it never, nowhere in that degree, nowhere in none of these lessons that I read, you need to know how to quote these lessons for the rest of your life. I never read them in the degrees, God. You need to know how to quote these lessons for the rest of your life. And if you don't quote them, you're not qualified to be a 5%er. So I said the 5%er teaches that the black man is God. You know, I never read that. So where did you get it from? Who taught you this? Who taught y'all this?